Okay, here it is. I'm playing. It's not long awaited. Wow. Let me check how long it's been. Okay, so yeah, about 3 months. But anyway, I had this idea. Well, I got this idea from one of my good friends. He said that I should do a MCU Marvel movie tier list. I just said MCU Marvel, like it's not Marvel Cinematic Universe already. So stupid. Um, but I should do an MCU movie tier list. And I was like, yeah, like I'm so down. That's so sick. I should totally do that. Cause a lot of y'all be ranking these movies like totally wrong. So, I mean, without further ado, let's just get into it. This is my I shouldn't I shouldn't say definitive because it was really hard to put these together. Like it was really difficult. This is my MCU movie tier list. Let's get to it. Hope you guys enjoy. By the way, like and subscribe. Love y'all. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and do that. And yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I wasn't entirely sure how to like film this. It was kind of like hard setting this up, but I finally got it. All right. Hopefully this is a good system for y'all. I think it will be. This is gonna be awesome. I might talk about the films for a little bit and then just kind of move on, but I won't do like a whole dissertation, essay, or anything like that on any of these films unless it's like necessary. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I don't want to make this video too long, but here we go. Let's jump into it. So I'm gonna start at the lowest and then go up to the top. The lowest film on the MCU movie ranking, Thor: The Dark World. Obviously, I mean, I don't even remember too much from this movie. Like, what more can I say? Like, I can't say anymore except for, like, the villain was Malekith, I think, and the Dark Elves and Loki died, and I mean, or he didn't even die. Like, you see what I mean? Like, he didn't even die. So, I mean, like, what did Thor learn in this movie? Like, what did he, like, I have no clue. I mean, just as simple as that. Like, what else can I say? I can't really say much about this movie because it wasn't that great. So, by the way, my background, this is basically like storage for my family and stuff like that. And me. Most of it's me. But it's all my college stuff, basically. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Film number 30 of the MCU movie ranking, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. And I know, oh man. And I kind of rated them by tiers. You'll see as we keep going. I have like a red, an orange, a yellow, blue, a purple, and then like a green, which is kind of funny because it's all the colors of the Infinity Stones. I didn't really think about that at first until like I colored them, and then I was like, wait, like these colors look actually like really familiar, and I was like, oh shit, like yeah, makes sense. So I didn't plan that at all. I just kind of colored them like that. But for movie number 30, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. Not to say that I mean, the movie wasn't as bad as Thor: The Dark World. It does have some memorable stuff. Jane Foster. I mean, they really butchered her though. I really like Jane Foster Thor in the comics, just as a character. Like, I think she's really cool, me personally. But they just didn't do her well at all. Hopefully, like in the next movie, she can, I don't know, come back from the dead. Spoilers, by the way, obviously, but I just don't know how that's gonna go, honestly. I just wish they, I don't know, portrayed her better, gave her more screen time too, even though she, I don't know, like the movie was just all over the place trying to do a lot, but it accomplished nothing, like kind of at the same time, and it was just kind of, I don't know, like it was weird. It was really weird, and there were just too many jokes. Like, it was just way too many jokes. It was horrible. So for number 29, we have Quantumania. And I know this movie just came out. A lot of people, they enjoyed this movie. They said it was like really mid. Uh, I mean, looking at it, like it's really not bad, but it is kind of bad if it's at 29. Like it's not bad, but there were just so many movies that need to go above this. Like you understand, like you know what I'm saying? There's so many movies that have to go above this. And it's like, and most of the list is kind of like this. Like the movies aren't terrible, but there were just movies that had to go above this that were so much better. Um, but I mean, Quantumania was okay. I mean, the biggest thing about it was Kang. Like everything else flopped. Moving on. So for number 28, we have the first Thor movie. Just the honestly, I hate this movie so much. And it's like, I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, Quantumania should be above Thor. But then at the same time, like Thor still isn't really that bad. I think it's kind of like nostalgia carrying it above Quantumania. But I really did like seeing the Destroyer in Thor. That was a really really good I mean villain, I guess. Being in the world of Asgard for the first time was really dope. That was cool. Um, I don't really know what went on, and then the blonde eyebrows. Yeah, I'm so glad they changed that. So glad. Um, okay, moving on. So for number 27, we have the Incredible Hulk. I mean, first, real MCU film. Um, it was kind of just like there, like, and mind you, Hulk is one of my favorite superheroes. Mind you, right now, Hulk is one of my favorite superheroes, probably like top 10. But I just don't like this film as much as others above it, so it just had to go like 27. Honestly, that's just how it has to be. Okay, number 26, we have Black Widow. I think the downfall of this movie, really, like the major criticism that it gets, is that it didn't come out early enough. After the Avengers is like a perfect time to make a Black Widow movie, even if it's not the same plot as like the Black Widow movie, because this one was set after what was it? I think it was set after Civil War. I'm pretty sure. So I mean, but this would have been a perfect time to make, like, after the Avengers would have been a great time to make a Black Widow film. Like, but mind you, still a pretty good movie. Like it was okay. It was alright, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't Love and Thunder type bad. I was still intrigued for most of it. Okay, moving on. Number 25, we got Captain Marvel. Mind you, I'm not a Captain Marvel hater. I'm not. I'm not like the Twitter fanboys that you see. I love Captain Marvel. She's one of my favorite superheroes. I love her. But the movie was not that good. And it sucks. Because I really, 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 really wanted that movie to be amazing. But it just wasn't. I'm hoping, I'm praying, I kid you not, I am praying that the Marvels this November blows Captain Marvel out of the water. Like, I hope it's like top 15 Marvel films. I hope so. I really do. I mean, you have Monica, you have Miss Marvel, which I thought was a pretty good show. By the way, pause real quick. If y'all want me to do a like show tier list too, I can. I think the movie is just bad. Simple as that. Okay. Moving on. Number 24, Eternals. Now, Eternals wasn't as bad as everybody says that it was. The action was cool, especially the last fight scene. I really do like what's her name? Makari. I'm a speedster guy. The Flash is my favorite superhero, so I thought showcasing her powers was really cool, honestly. But other than that, that's 24. Moving on to 23, we got Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 stands at like a weird spot. It's like, it's good. It's fun. I shouldn't say it's good, but it's a fun movie. If you want to just sit down and like watch it like while you're probably doing homework or something like that, then you could do that. Number 22, Iron Man 3. It's just like I don't know what it is about the Iron Man films, but at least these two, they don't do it for me. Like, to be honest, like, they don't really do anything like crazy to me. I did like the dynamic of the PTSD and everything like that. The Mandarin twist was cool. I mean, it came back and definitely, had a purpose for sure, as we saw in Shang-Chi. Um, but I mean, other than that, like the extremists, like soldiers, like it was just kind of like, oh, like all right. And for the first yellow, and for number 21, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp is not a bad movie. I said it. It's not a terrible movie at all. You guys are just judging it too hard. Ant-Man and the Wasp is a fun movie that I like, that I will put on if I'm doing my homework, and I will occasionally get distracted. I said it. It's good. The only thing that brought this movie down was the villain. I could care less about Ghost. I'm sorry. I actually could not care less. I could not care less because I don't care at all. I don't care. And for number 20, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. Look, the other Spider-Man movies are pretty high on the list. This one is just, I wouldn't say it's boring by any means, but I do not want to see Spider-Man in Europe whatsoever. Do not do that again. Who directed that? John, please, bro. Don't do that shit again. No one wants to see Spider-Man in Europe ever again. I thought the villain was cool. Mysterio was dope. I mean, like, A1 villain. A1 villain. So cool. The thing with the drones, I mean, that was cool too. I mean, just Spider-Man being in Europe, like it would have been so much cooler in New York, honestly. But I don't know. It was just dumb. Moving on. Number 19, we have Multiverse of Madness. I thought it was a fun film. The pacing felt a little bit off. Just a little bit off. I felt like we got into the action a little bit quicker than we needed to. And that's just what makes the movie fall at number 19. I thought it was really cool. America Chavez was dope. Can't wait to see her again. Wong was really good in the movie. Seeing Professor X, that was dope. Seeing the Illuminati, that was awesome. And the way that I'm not even gonna speak on that, but just the way that they got obliterated by Wanda in like seconds was like, like, okay, like we get it, like she's strong, but like we could have done better, like with a better fight scene. Honestly, I don't know. It's just mid. Like, it was a good movie, but just other things need to go in front of it. For number 18, we have The First Avenger. I actually like The First Avenger a lot. Like a lot. Honestly, I'm surprised it didn't go higher, even though I made the list. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think other movies just should go higher, honestly. But I really like The First Avenger. It's really cool. A lot of people hate on it. A lot. They say it's like worse than like Iron Man 2 or Eternal. No. It's not. It's an entertaining movie. It's a great origin story movie, I believe. And the ending is like damn near perfect. It's number 17. We have Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 is classic. People might hate me for this because it's falling so low, but I think this is where it deserves to be. I think other films are just better than it, personally. I think other films are just more fun than it, personally. Of course, you have like the iconic, the banging on the metal, to make his suit and everything like that. But I just think other movies needed to go in front of it. I love the flying scenes. The CGI in it was insane. The action was crazy. It really felt like we were looking at like a person. Like I mean, in an Iron Man suit. Like, it just looked great to me. But I feel like this is just where it needed to go. Number 16, I have Age of Ultron. So, yes, they did butcher Ultron, but I thought it was a really great dynamic film for the Avengers. We saw, the Iron Man dream, where he sees, kind of like the premonition of all the Avengers dying. I thought that was really dope. We saw Hulkbuster for the first time. That was awesome. That fight was cool. Quicksilver, yeah, they butchered Quicksilver. They need to bring him back ASAP. Love me some Quicksilver. Wanda was dope in there. We finally saw Wakanda for the first time. We saw Claw. I thought it was just a really jam-packed, fun film. I thought it was cool. Like it's really good. It's a good film. It's a good movie. There's nothing really else to say about it except it was fun and good, and you can definitely put this on. Watch it. I think somebody like a first time MCU movie watcher will enjoy it. I think. But that's about it. So, okay, moving on. So we had red, orange, and the yellow for good tier. Now we're getting into the blue for, I should say yellow is like okay tier, okay. Now we're getting into the good tier of films. And starting with the good tier, we have number 15, Ant-Man. Okay. A lot of you people hate on this movie. I think it's good. It's a good film. It has good pacing. It has a good backstory. We care for Scott. We care for his crew. We care for Hank Pym. And we want him to stop the bad guy. We really do. Because, the way that he's set up, we also care for his daughter, too, Cassie. We care for Cassie. Like, come on, man. Like, it's just a regular dude. He's been to jail, messed up a few times. Now he's out, and, he's trying to make a better life for his daughter. You have to commend that. Like, we care for Scott and what he's doing. He's just a good dude, honestly. And I really thought the pacing to this film was awesome. The action was awesome. The last fight scene, dope. Cinema, like, it was just, it's so cool. Like, on to number 14, I have Wakanda Forever. So now, people are going to hate me for this, I think. But I think this is just where the film needs to be. There are other films above it that just have to go above it. They have to. Wakanda Forever was awesome. I thought it was like the only sequel that you could have done where you don't have Chadwick, unfortunately. RIP Chadwick Boseman. Just like, there's nothing else that they could have done for a sequel. And I think Ryan Coogler pulled it off like perfectly. Like what else could you do? It was a serious film, which is what the MCU needed at that moment. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really dope. Weren't too many jokes, but when the jokes landed, they landed really well. I was smiling and laughing throughout the theater. Like, Bald-Headed Demon is just like, it's funny. Like, it's hilarious. The action was awesome. The stakes were cool. Killmonger coming back. Delivering his lines. So number 13, we have Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is dope. The fight scenes, everybody talks about the fight scenes. The train scene, the train fight scene was crazy. But other than that, it's just a good origin story. Like, it's just like a chill, wholesome origin story. Now, I do admit some of the jokes didn't land, but it's only a few. I go back and watch it, and it's still funny. The comedic timing of everything is pretty good. I think Shang-Chi is going to be a staple in the MCU, and he's going to be dope. Moving on, number 12, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, people are going to hate me for this, I think, because a lot of people do love the Guardians franchise. It's probably like all three movies are going to be like in the top 10 of most MCU like rankings, I believe. But one of those movies like stuff had to go above it for me personally. I just enjoyed stuff more than it. Um I thought the dad, like son and dad dynamic in the movie was cool. Um Other than that, just like and what's it? The Sovereigns. Yes, the Sovereigns. I thought the Sovereigns were dope, and the Nova Corps. Um, but other than that, I just think the other two are better. Personally, I don't remember much from Volume Two. All right, all right. Number 11, we have Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. The visuals, peak cinema, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Because if you don't think it's peak cinema, like the visuals in Doctor Strange, if you don't think that's peak, then you must be blind. You have to be. There's no way. There's no way. The fight scenes in there are so dope. Just the creativity that you have to come up with stuff like that is insane. It's crazy. I wish we had more of that in Multiverse of Madness, but we didn't. But it is what it is. We had the blue tier. That was a good tier. So now we're going into the purple, which I will categorize as great. Purple is the great tier. And starting at number 10, we have Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is a great movie. It is a great movie. This brought the Thor franchise back. Unfortunately, with Love and Thunder, they butchered it. They killed it. Thor might never get another movie again, unfortunately. Because I really do like Thor. I really do like seeing him go on adventures and just going throughout the galaxy, the universe, and just beating people up. It's cool. I love seeing him throw, what's the axe's name? Stormbreaker around. It's just fun and it's cool. I thought it was going to be a lot more Guardians of the Galaxy in the movie, but there wasn't, unfortunately. Moving on, at number 9, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, after this, I do have a little bit of a gripe with this Spider-Man origin kind of story, I guess you could say, in the MCU. We did see him in Civil War first, so, I shouldn't say first time seeing him, but, I guess this was kind of like an origin film. But I do have one gripe, is that he wasn't on his own. A lot of people will say that, like he had Iron Man by his side and blah, 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 and stuff like that. That's where he got the suit. He barely made any of his tech except for his web shooters, and his webs, of course, and blah, 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 blah. But other than that, this movie is awesome. The jokes, great. Soundtrack, awesome. Action, I'd say the action is good. It's good. It's not great. It's good. I wish the final fight could have been a little bit better, but that's just me. And then the shot with Tom Holland, looking into the water and his mask looking back, him trying to get up from the rubble, I'm like, that was just an awesome shot, straight out of the comics. That was perfect. That's the kind of stuff that you want, like in a Marvel movie, executed well, in any superhero movie, really. I thought it was just executed very well. It shows off Spider-Man, I thought it was just a great movie. Spider-Man Homecoming at number 9. All right, and number 8, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. So, I'm not going to lie to you, right before I recorded this, a few hours before, I did watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, so I guess this is kind of recency bias, low-key. But I just had to go back and see, if I really liked it as much as it needed to be, because I knew it was high. I knew I liked it before, but I just hadn't watched it in a while. And yeah, it deserves a number 8 spot. It's a great movie. It's better than 2. I don't care what y'all say. It is definitely better than 2. The family dynamic in here is executed. I don't want to cuss. It's executed effing perfectly. Perfectly. This is the first time that we're seeing all of these characters. This is the first time that we're seeing all of these characters. 5 new characters: Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot. We're seeing 5 characters in an origin story, and you have to make them feel and look like they are bonding and connecting with each other, and slowly turning into friends and loving each other, like slowly throughout the movie. And it's only like what, like a 2-hour film or something like that. Like, all right, number 7, we have Spider-Man No Way Home. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this because I know y'all are huge Spider-Man fans. Spider-Man is probably like my probably like my 4th or 5th favorite superhero. A lot of y'all, he's number 1. But to me, he's 4th or 5th. Maybe even 3rd, actually. 3rd, 4th, or 5th. I can't really choose. But Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, man, like, I've said it a million times. It's not the greatest as to what people are saying. People will say it's like top 1, like, S tier movie. It's not an S tier movie. It's a great movie. It's not S tier. I did go back and watch it a few times, after, because I wasn't like super sold on it. People were like, "Oh my gosh, like this movie's like perfect, like it's insane." Like, the 3 Spider-Man show up. Like, I really feel like I didn't really feel it at first, but then I went back and watched it, and I was like, okay, like I understand. I kind of understand. At the ending, I think the ending was probably the best thing that sealed it for me to make it go this high. Spider-Man is all about being responsible. It's all about responsibility, and that you kind of feel at the end. Well, not kind of, but you definitely feel at the end with him having to, give up his friends, his entire life, Aunt May dying, and him having to grow up. He's not going to college. He's getting his GED, and, makes a new Spider-Man costume and goes out and knows that this is what has to happen. He has to be Spider-Man. His city needs him. His people need him. And, you just have to grow up and own it. Okay, so yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home at 7. So we've had red, orange, yellow, blue, and purple. This was the great tier. So now we're getting to the green tier. This is perfect. This is perfect tier. You can't knock these. You can't have a single bad gripe about any of these, in my opinion. Let's just get into it, man. I think a lot of y'all are going to be mad at me for these, last 6 movies. But let's get into it. All right, so getting into the green tier, the perfect tier. And at number 6, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, I mean, what is there to say? If y'all saw it in theaters, then y'all know. From the beginning of the movie, I was hooked. I mean, with Rocket, like, getting shot. I mean, I don't want to say too many spoilers. I don't know if people have seen it by now. When did that come out? Like 2 months ago, I think, or a month ago. Came out last month or something like that. A month and a half ago. I don't remember. But anyway, with Rocket getting shot in the beginning of the film, and then having to, go all over the galaxy and, try and save him. I was thinking, like, how were they going to cap this off? This was supposed to be the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy that we know. As for right now, a new team is going to be formed. And this was supposed to be the end, to cap it off, kind of like the end game for, the Guardians of the Galaxy. But I was thinking like, how are they going to cap this off? And just like from the beginning, we came out strong. I was just like, oh, like Rocket's probably going to die. Like literally, like holy, like this is crazy. I didn't want Rocket to die, and just seeing his backstory too was crazy, man. And the fight scenes were dope. The soundtrack always goes hard. The story, was awesome. Um, comedic relief was great. I mean, like, how could you like what negatives are there to Volume 3? It's amazing. So yeah, moving on. All right. Number 5, we have Black Panther. I mean, obviously, this film was a cultural reset. Cultural reset. And when I mean that, like I mean that seriously. This film was a cultural reset. Uh, I mean, not to say anything. I'm not trying to be like get into too much, racial anything, but just for like the black community, like personally, this movie was like everything to us. It still is. Changed everything for us. I mean, I even have a tattoo because of it. But like, like I, like why do I have to explain? Like y'all already know. I mean, if you've seen it, you know. Like Number 4, we have the Avengers. Now this is okay. So in 2012, I'll say this right now. Okay, I'll say this right now. The first Iron Man movie was not the first Marvel like MCU movie that I saw. I believe the first MCU movie that I saw was either Incredible Hulk or Captain America: The First Avenger. And I remember that in theaters, the first one that I saw was definitely though the first Avenger. So that's why I'm counting it as kind of like my first. So like the first experience that I had with the MCU. And so at the time, like I knew who Captain America was. I was into comics and everything like that. And I mean, I was a huge nerd back then, obviously. So I was turning. Ooh, when did Captain America come out? Let me see. So I just looked it up. So Captain America: The First Avenger came out in 2011. So at that time, I was turning 9, at least. I believe I was turning 9, probably when it came out. And I remember my sister took me to go see it. I don't think she knew anything about it, but maybe she did. I'm not sure. But that was the first like MCU movie that I saw in theaters. And I was really excited to go see it because I'm like, Captain America, like, yeah. And I guess I didn't know Hulk was a thing at the time, or Iron Man. I'm not sure. Or Thor either. And when the Avengers came out in 2012, like when they I guess had the trailer out and everything like that, and we're doing like promotional and ads and stuff like that, I was like, oh my gosh, like they're making an Avengers movie, like Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, like Captain America, like Black Widow, Hawkeye. I was like, what is this? Like this is so cool. I was so hyped. And so my mom took me to go see the Avengers in 2012. I guess I was probably like 10 at the time, or probably about to turn 10. And man, I got a poster. Excuse me. I got a poster. Maybe I still have it, but I'm not sure. Um, and I got like something else there for being there early. They were giving out like posters for being early, and that was like my first like awesome like theater like experience. Like I was hyped to go to the theater and see this movie and see the people portray these characters that I really really loved, and I will never forget that moment. Moving on. I can't talk about this for too long. Moving on. Number 3, we have Civil War. I cannot count on how many fingers and toes I've watched Civil War, but it's a lot. This movie means a lot to me. It's it's so good, bro. It's so good. How could you not like what negative like no like be honest with me. Like be honest with me right now. What negative does Civil War have? I just want you like just think about it for like a second. What negative does Civil War have? Yeah, I couldn't think of any either. Okay. The plot with Zemo, perfect. They set this up and it was perfect. All the way from, you know, the first Avenger, you know, with Bucky dying, falling off the train, him becoming Winter Soldier, which I'm so glad we got to see in the MCU at all. Like, he's just an amazing character. The fight scenes, um, at the airport, and seeing Iron Man and Captain America and these ideals totally clash. By the way, if you're not Team Cap, then you're wrong. Sorry. Like, I don't know what to say. If you're not Team Cap, then you're wrong. Sorry. But anyway, it's just like you have these two ideals of, government and having freedom and just clashing, and then you see them totally break apart, and their friendship and brotherhood is totally broken. And it's like all this from just one man with no powers, like no accomplices or anything. He just did it by himself. And then it goes back to even Age of Ultron in Sokovia when they destroyed Sokovia. It's like, it's perfect, man. It's perfect. Moving on to number 2, we have the Winter Soldier. Now this was difficult. I'd say the most difficult ranking on here was first finding out where the Guardians of the Galaxy movies were gonna go. That was difficult because they're all so good. And then the second most difficult was Civil War or Winter Soldier, which one to put above. Honestly, it depends on the day. But Winter Soldier's just it's and then we get the notorious elevator scene. The elevator scene is one of the best pieces of cinema I've ever seen in my life. The only thing that lacks with Winter Soldier, I'll say this, was the last fight scene. But then again, it was still great. It was just, Bucky against Captain America. I wish they could have done something different other than the helicarriers, but that was the stakes made it just, that much bigger. So I understand why they did it. But I mean, you can't knock anything about this movie. You can't. Okay, here we are. We are here. Number 1. I hope y'all are ready. Are y'all ready? Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like on this video for number 1 for the rest of this list. I know y'all are messing with it because this is undeniably the best MCU ranking list that you've seen. All right, y'all ready? For number 1, we have Endgame and Infinity War. Now, I cannot put these two on different levels, on different ranks, because they just go together. Simple as that. They go together. Infinity War is part 1. Endgame is part 2. They both complete a story that had been, cooking for the past 10, 11 years for the MCU. And this is the final book for basically most of these heroes. And it was just perfect. It was perfect. Down to the last minute detail. Peak cinema. You cannot say Endgame without Infinity War. You cannot say Infinity War without Endgame. These two have to be at number 1 at all times. They are equal. They're both perfect. They're both amazing. They both deserve love. They both deserve the number 1 spot. I don't care. They are top. The best of the best. And that's as simple as that. I don't even need to explain anything. If you know, you know, that theater going experience for Infinity War, I saw it with my boys. Insane. Oh man. And then just the day before, because Endgame released on the April 26th, I believe. I went to go see it the 25th. I think like at like 11 or something like that. Man, it was just, I saw a few of my friends there from school too at the same premiere and same theater that I went to. They were sitting like a row or two behind me. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like the theater was full. It was completely full. They're just perfect. They're perfect. They're just peak. I don't think anything in the MCU will ever beat Endgame or Infinity War. Ever. Ever. I'm I don't think so. Not even Secret Wars, not even Kang Dynasty. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Just that trailer itself is like number one. The trailer for Endgame itself is number one. It's incredible. Anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, comment what are your top 5 or 10. Comment what are your top 10 MCU movies. If y'all want me to do MCU shows or any other kind of, like franchise, maybe like Star Wars or Transformers maybe or something like that, just let me know. But comment your top 10 MCU movies. Yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed. This was a blast to think about in the film. I can't wait to edit this, honestly. It's going to be so much fun. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's day. I love y'all so much. I'm going to try and get some more videos out for y'all at least once a week. I don't think I'm done with Hogwarts Legacy yet. I just got Diablo 4. I might stream that. So go check out the stream. Minecraft updated. So go check out the stream for sure. I'm going to be streaming that. I love y'all, man. Infinity War Endgame top. I don't care what any of y'all say, bro. I love y'all. See y'all. Peace out.